Good morning again, Rupert from the hunting agency here. I'm with Rafael Finnat in Toledo in Spain. I'm going to introduce you to Rafael in a second, and he will talk you through the region that we're in, the species that you can find, some of the vegetation, the plants and that sort of thing. So this is Rafael, and Rafael has just been talking me through the estate that he and his family have lived in for generations now. So good morning, Rafael. If you could talk the guys through the environment here, with the kind of trees and that sort of thing, then I'll pan the camera around and talk them through it. So
here the environment is Mediterranean region, but it's also continental because it can get very cold and very hot, and it's quite dry. It's quite dry, and most of the vegetation is adapted to the dryness or drought. Yeah, we have the best thing we have is the oak, leaf oak. Gives very good quality acorn, and also the leaves are eaten by deer and other animals. And also we have the bush, some thick bush called jara and rosemary. Jara is a bush that is very sticky because it have a substance in the leaf that prevent the evaporation of the water of the plant. Also, we have the rosemary. Also, it smells very well because it got this type of substance in the leaves. And up on the mountain, when we go up, it's more cold and the climate changes, and we have the other type of oak. I think they're similar to the ones we have in other places now that lose the leaves. Here we call it roble. And that's all. We have also maple trees up there, another type of bushes and trees.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, the oak tree that grows here is different from the British oak in as much as it's an evergreen rather than a deciduous. It has a different and sweeter acorn as well. So this is a prime environment, really. I mean, obviously the deer eat that, but also the pigs as well. Where we've just driven through is very dense in terms of foliage and vegetation on the ground. Ideal pig environment. And in a second, we're just going to drive up to the mountain and have a look there. In this environment, there are an enormous number of red stags here. There's also fallow deer, mouflon sheep, and obviously the pigs as well. So I'm not sure that we're going to see very much today in terms of actually seeing the game. Certainly we did last night. But I wanted to give you a flavour for the environment. As you can see, the way that the Spanish environment has been cultivated over the years, a lot of the kind of scrub and bushes have been cleared over the millennia to cultivate crops. That's more evident elsewhere on the estates where barley and so on is grown. Now that said, that leaves these oak trees standing alone, which is a lovely environment for the young to grow up in the shade of them, but also is perfect really for the animals to come and graze around the area as well. I mean, it really is a very different environment to that we see in the UK, but there again, variety is the spice of life. Now, to give you a bit more background, we're going to go up into the mountain in a second. What you can't see from here is the fire breaks that cross across the region, and it's those fire breaks that we use for the individual rides to position hunters along the fire breaks. So you know, we would have 3 fire breaks on 3 sides, and then start the drive from there, driving the pigs and also the deer through into the rides where we shoot them, obviously. It's good sport. If any of you have ever done driven boar, to actually have driven boar and deer at the same time is a variety, I guess, that perhaps some of you won't have experienced in Spain. And on top of that, we're combining driven boar and driven deer hunting with driven red-legged partridge as well. So for you guys who like to shoot game, why not come over, shoot some game, and also shoot some deer and boar at the same time. Variety is the spice of life. Okay, I'm going to get back in the vehicle again now, and I'll bring you some more from when we get up to the top of the mountains. Thank you.
The Lightroom has to go with the dogs in the Monterias. Very exciting to see the dogs running and see animals.
Yeah.
I don't like to see the spots.
gives you a bit of a better environment, a flavour for the environment here. The reason that I've stopped here to show you this is hopefully I'll be able to zoom in on this, because Spain is home to a variety of different birds of prey, including something called the imperial eagle. The imperial eagle, if I can just keep my hand steady enough, and sod's law says I'm not going to be able to, there's an imperial eagle. There's the imperial eagle sitting on his perch right at the top of the mountain here. So that's him.
Hola, abierto el campo.
Watching us.
Hola, ¿qué tal? No, que perdón, es que ayer le llamé porque
from quite some distance away.
Lo del trastero, para preguntar si podía mandar lo del trastero por fax. Al final ha ido.
Now, to give you a flavour, the reason I've stopped here, this is a fire break. Or break fire as in the Spanish translation, but a fire break. I'm going to spin the camera around now to show you what that fire break looks like actually on the side of the mountains here. So, you see the lines going up the side of the mountain. Okay, well that's the fire break continuing along. This is the fire break here continuing along as well. Now, the traditional way of that the Spanish deal with their driven hunts, you can see the fire breaks cutting across in the background here. So you've got the fire breaks. We'll align a row of hunters along one fire break, another across the top, another across the bottom. Now this is enclosing an area that's circa, I don't know, 500 hectares or something like that. And then at that point we then release the dogs and the beaters to drive up, and then we drive back down through again. So we'll have two drives, one up and one back down the mountain. And within this environment, as we spoke earlier about the various different species of oak tree and some fairly dense foliage. I mean, to give you a flavour, I'm going to walk into the foliage here, and anybody who's done driven boar hunting in Europe will know dense foliage is home to plenty of pigs. So, in terms of density, wow, the smell here is incredible, really sticky and so on. So, in terms of the density of foliage, it's going to give you a flavour. It's very, very dense, which is ideal for pigs and so on. And again, if you look up into the background, you'll start to see the fire break in the background through the forests and so on, cutting through. So this is the environment that gives you a flavour, using the fire breaks for the individual rides, and then to give you a flavour for what the rest of the estate looks like as well. You've got the mountains in the background. I mean, it really is, whoa, a beautiful environment here. Really, really stunning environment. And again, as we look across the background of the estate, hey, across the other side is where we deal with the driven partridges. And again, it will give you a flavour for the scale and the majesty of the place. I mean, it really is an amazing place to come. Nice people as well, there's a lot of guys who have been to Spain on holiday. It's a very popular European destination for European tourists. Obviously the weather helps, but these guys are in the entertainment business and the tourism business, so they really do know how to look after clients, and that makes a huge difference. How many times have I been to places where the owners or the guides have been dour and miserable and purely dealing with the hunting. Whereas, really, I suppose from my point of view, I enjoy the social side of it as much. I like to have nice surroundings as well in the evening, if that's available, and good company, good hosts. And I think I'm just going to span up now. Here's the eagles. Oh, it's vultures now. There's also black vultures here, which let's see if I can find him. There you go. So. I just wanted to share this with you. Rafael and I have just crested up to the top of this. I'll pan out to here and just revisit this. As I came up, and this is the view that awaits. Oh yeah. And you know, my words just don't have meaning up here. I know this is a high definition camera and it's widescreen and digital and this and that, but you just, I just know this footage that I'm shooting now isn't doing the place justice. It's such a ruggedly beautiful place. It really is incredible. Yeah, it's a tough place to come stalking though, so it gives you a flavour. But and in the background, it's a bit chilly here. In the background, I'm not sure whether my camera's going to pick these up. You can see the snow-covered mountains in the background. I'll zoom in a bit here, so see if you can see them. Where we've got ibex hunting in the background there in the mountains. So for all of you guys who've been to Spain on a beach holiday in the past and didn't really know very much about the region, this gives you a flavour. We don't get too many hunters here from North America. I know American hunters like. There's a fair number of guys there who like an adventure, but there's also a fair number of guys like the Safari Club and similar members who are looking to complete their collection. So when you're looking for Spanish ibex, mouflon, chamois, and all that sort of thing, well, this is the place, isn't it? Really. And I'm going to zoom down into the valley a bit. Gives you a taste of it. No. My hands aren't steady enough to do this justice, so I'm going to zoom back out again. Hunting over. Yeah, it's pretty special. Right. The other thing I should tell you about this, obviously you can probably gather from where I am that it's pretty high up. No doubt you can tell from the way that I'm breathing that we're at 4,000 feet, and it's not just that I'm an unfit Englishman. You know, it's you do need to be or to have relatively decent levels of personal fitness to come here. You know, and it's a steep environment. So this is where I show just how lame I am, scrambling over the moss. However, it gives you an idea. If you wanted to come and stalk this region, then that's fine. Just be appropriately equipped. I'll tell you all the details that you need, all the stuff that you'd need. And I guess, as with all the locations that we promote and represent, we do suggest that people are able to walk comfortably carrying a rifle for about 5 miles. If you could practice that before you come out, then it's going to really enhance your hunt. There's nothing worse than having your adventure ruined because of poor personal preparation. So in the weeks and months preceding your trip over, 2 or 3 times a week, get yourself out either with a backpack on or go and walk your dogs, or buy yourself some thinking time. Go out and get out and walk around for a couple of hours every other day. Get yourself conditioned so that when you get out into this environment, you get the best of it. Says the fat Englishman as he's struggling for breath.